Father, good morning, Father and Son. Shall we start?
सीधे सीधे आगे बढ़ते जाइए। आपको आपको
Okay, okay.
राइट साइड में एक ठो ये दिखेगा, क्या उसको बोलते हैं, अमरूद का पेड़ दिखेगा आपके दाहिने तरफ। दो ठो अमरूद का पेड़ एक ही घर में। आपके राइट साइड में दो ठो अमरूद का पेड़ है। एक ठो नया घर बना होगा, कच्चे दो ठो घर बना होगा उसमें। एक ठो में प्लास्टर किया होगा, एक ठो में नहीं किया होगा। दोनों में अमरूद का पेड़ है। क्या खराब हो गया? हाँ हाँ, अमरूद का पेड़ होगा दाहिने तरफ। दो ठो घर होगा। हाँ दो ठो। अब सामने में गड्ढा होगा, कूड़ा उड़ा फेंका होगा दुनिया भर का। दो ठो अमरूद का पेड़ दिखा? दो ठो अमरूद का पेड़ होगा एक ही जगह पे। दो ठो अमरूद का पेड़ होगा एक ही जगह पे। हाँ बस वो लोहा का गेट होगा। नहीं, पार नहीं करना है, अमरूद के पेड़ पे रुक जाना है। हम आ रहे, बाहर आ रहे, बाहर आ रहे, बाहर आ रहे, लाइफ पे हैं हम।
Rakesh sir.
हम आ रहे
Father.
हैं, वही रुकिए ना। दो अमरूद
Yes,
के पेड़
Father.
बस, हम आ रहे हैं।
Go ahead. Can begin. Good
Okay,
morning.
Father.
Good evening to our resource person and to those joining us from the United States. And pleasant good morning to those joining from India. On behalf of St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, this is your moderator, cum host for the day, Parisi Gupta, of second year, Department of Computer Science, and I extend a warm welcome to each and everyone for giving your precious time in today's national webinar on the topic Internet of Things, Digital and Connected Analytics. Let's begin. Benjamin Franklin once said, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn." As today, you all have given your time in this webinar to learn and explore new things. This shows your interest in learning. Now, without any further delay, I take this opportunity to welcome our learned resource person, Mr. Girish Nambiar. He is currently the Program Director of Integrated Transformation Delivery in Wipro, South Carolina, USA, having an experience of over 22 years in the software industry. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and honoring us with your gracious presence. I welcome Rector Reverend Father Joy Karyampuram SJ, Principal Father Dr. T. Nishant SJ, Vice Principal Father Dr. Martin Porras SJ, members of Management Guide Father Dr. Alphonse Sebastian SJ, convener of the webinar Mr. Rakesh Pathak sir, faculty members and my dear participants. Our college follows the tradition of prayer. We remember God before every auspicious work. So, to continue with this tradition, I request you all to close your eyes for the prayer. Let's present ourselves in the presence of Lord. Thank you, Lord, for this day and for this life and many blessings. We believe in your goodness with all our heart. So we are asking you to go before us today, being our guide. Our situation makes us wonder which way to turn. As each hour passes on this day, Lord, Bless us with your strength, your watchful eye the entire day, always ready to help us and to offer us comfort in peace. In Jesus' name, Amen. Now, I request our principal father, Dr. T. Nishant S.J., to formally welcome our resource person, come guest speaker, Mr. Girish Nambiar, for giving his valuable time. Over to you, Father.
Okay. I am I audible?
Yes, Father, you're audible.
Okay. Respected resource person, Dr. Girish Nambia, Program Director, Integrated Transformational Delivery, Wipro USA. Father Joy Kariambaram SJ, the Vice President of the College. Father Dr. Martin Porras SJ, the Vice Principal. Members of management, committed staff, and lovable students, distinguished guests and participants. I am very happy that we are together again after a long time for this webinar. We had a continuous webinars for some time, and after a break, we have come together again. So at the outset, I would like to congratulate the Department of Computer Science for organizing this webinar on a very relevant topic. In recent times, Internet of Things, or IoT, has witnessed an exponential growth globally and has successfully garnered much attention due to its potential to significantly transform human life. One can feel the impact Internet of Things has on our day-to-day lives already. Today we have everything smart, be it mobiles, traffic lights, refrigerators, televisions, washing machines, health monitors, watches, cars, and even toys. IoT enabled interconnected smart devices are transforming the way people access services and interact with one another. IoT can also help us improve safety and security in our neighborhood and remote workplaces through sensors and video cameras. The possibilities are endless. But devices on their own cannot be smart. In order to be considered smart, these otherwise dumb devices must be able to add value to human life. For this, we need to work on technological advancements in the field of connectivity, computing, and cognitive technologies. These technologies will make the devices truly smart by intelligently observing, reasoning, and intuitively enhancing user experience. Further, IoT must comply with the social and ethical expectations to a no fake information and so must be protected globally by international laws and policies. With the recent announcement of WhatsApp invading the individual privacy, we are well aware how social media platforms like Facebook, Google, and so on are using us as commodities for commercial purpose. Therefore, IoT should provide to each person controlled automata, robot, satellites as extension of the personal sphere of action. It must contribute to the globalization as a planetary complex of connected services where the reference system is the protection of Mother Earth through the constructive and creative intervention of human beings. With these words, I sign off by once again congratulating the coordinator of computer science, Mr. Prakash Upadhyay, and the other members of the department. I once again welcome and wish all the best to Dr. Girish Nambia as you are going to deliver the keynote address and keep us spellbound. Khuda Hafiz, Jai Xaviers, Jai Bharat.
Thank you so much, Father, for your words of motivation. This means a lot to us. Just to remind you all, before we start the session, if you have any query or question during the webinar, please do type them into the vote room. We'll bring them up during the webinar, and we'll also have time for question and answer session at the end. Now, Without any further ado, I would like to introduce you to the convener of the webinar, Mr. Rakesh Pathak, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, St. Xavier's College, Management and Technology, Patna. Over to you, sir.
Unmute your mic, Rakesh.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you.
Thank you, Parisi. Reverend Father Rector Joy Karyampuram SJ, Father Principal Nant SJ, Vice Principal Father Dr. Martin Puras SJ, our guide Father Dr. Sebastian Alphonse SJ, members of the management, distinguished colleagues, beloved students, and dear participants. It gives me immense pleasure to greet Nambiar. Mr. Girish Nambiar is a commerce graduate and holds many postgraduate certificates in management and web administration. Sir, you are also Six Sigma Green Belt certified. You have over 22 years of experience in managing multiple large transitions and have worked with on-site customers in USA and Europe. Currently, you are working as a Program Director, Integrated Transformation Delivery with Wipro Digital, South Carolina, USA, since 2017. Here, your key responsibilities include managing a large IoT programs of 90 plus people. You're also responsible for overall delivery. You're working on agile projects with multiple teams on AWS, IoT, and Python as backend and Angular 2 as frontend. You're also responsible for customer management and overall governance. You worked as a director IoT and a senior manager Wipro at Bangalore from 2014 to 2017. You have also worked as senior manager Energy Operations Center with Wipro on equally from 2011 to 2014. You were responsible for and managing energy operations. Here, you successfully completed two projects for a leading retail in USA with CSAT, score of 6.55 out of 7. I am sure listening to you is going to be an memorable and once in a lifetime kind of experience for all of us attending this webinar. Without any further delay, I am handing over the platform to you, our resource person, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Girish Nambiar. I think everybody has already introduced me. Thank you for introducing. Thank you, Principal Dr. T. Nishan. Thank you, Mr. Prakash Upadhyay. Thank you, Mr. Rakesh Pathak, for inviting me to this forum and giving me an opportunity to talk to the lovely people, those who have joined today. It is interesting that we have already heard about IoT digital. My session today will be focusing more on the basics of what we do in IoT, what we do in digital, what we do in connected analytics. I think our principal sir has already elaborated and given a good example of where IoT is being used, and that will help me build on that and talk about what we all have. With that, I would want to share my screen and I will present a small deck that I have created. The intent of this deck is to give a guidance, but I would be sharing a lot of experience that I have had in this field, and I would also be sharing certain examples that I have seen. I have also put in a couple of videos which will help us visualize things in a better way. So with that, let me quickly share my screen, and please let me know if you do not see my screen coming up. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible, sir.
Thank you. All right. So IoT, digital and connected analytics is something which is a buzzword now, and it has been there for quite a few years. I have been managing such kind of projects for the last at least 5+ years, but relatively Internet of Things is new compared to when we talk about other technologies that we have in the market. To start with, we will quickly go through Chinese philosopher Confucius, whose quote says, "Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life." This means that you need to love your job, you need to understand what is your passion, and choose a job, and so that any day in your life does not look like a work. It is continuous process of learning and obviously sharing whatever experience that you have. Okay, talking about Internet of Things, and let me kind of explain that in a layman's term where everybody understands what is Internet of Things. And the intent that I have today is not to go into the depth, but also give an overview and talk about some examples which talks about Internet of Things. So Internet of Things, or IoT, what we call, is just a network of physical objects which is connected to the internet. In the current world, everybody is using a smart device, which could be a smartphone, which could be a smart watch, it could be a sensor, it could be any device which is transmitting data over internet. There are billions of devices, trillions of devices getting connected, and as we speak, in the next 5 years, you will have trillions and trillions of devices getting connected to the internet, and you will have a lot of data coming out of that. Now, the companies which are adopting predominantly are manufacturing industries. You will have retail industries, you have banks, you have transportation where people are adopting this. You have connected cars which are coming in. You see a lot of connected devices in connected refrigerators, connected soap dispensers, connected washing machines. Everything is getting connected. And the reason it is getting connected is to ensure that people are able to make things easy for them, automate things for them, and ensure that they are able to get some value out of these devices when they are connected to the internet. Now, when we talk about Internet of Things, it is important that we understand and how the entire flow of from where the data gets connected, how the data is getting connected, how do we use this data, and what business decisions are made out of this. So it is important, and I'm going to give you an example of what I currently have. If you look at this, this is my car, which is a connected car. And this is a report that I get every month from my Hyundai dealers, where they would send me an email which talks about different parameters which are tracked. This is an example of a connected car which talks about, again, from a safety perspective, I have an anti-brake lock system which is working, electricals are working, airbags working, tires working. So this gives me a comfort that if I am going out on a ride or for a long drive, my car is green. If there are any parameters which are red, it would give me an alert. It gives me an indication that I need to change these systems before I take that car on a ride and ensure that my safety is taken care of. When we used to buy a car earlier, we never had these kind of features coming in. So this is something which has changed the way we look at things. It has changed the customer experience. It has changed how people look at things and how are they deriving value out of this. And it is important right now. And as we speak, things are getting important day in, day out, because these are the things which somebody did not expect earlier. Now this is becoming a need for them. So they know, okay, my car company would send this report, and I know exactly that these report will help me ensure my safety. So this is a basic one where we are talking about Internet of Things. Now, there are so many examples of things which I would want to start with one of the videos before we go into that. But let us explore the areas that we will have Internet of Things connected. So you have smartphones, smart music system, smart carriers. You have smart retail cards. So if you have a card and it's a digital card where you are looking at buying stuff from a retail store, it could be a big bazaar or it could be anything like a Walmart in US or a big bazaar in India. And when you buy certain things and use a smart card, the card will help you identify the product. It will show you the value of the product, and you will be able to even pay using the card, do a self checkout, and walk out of the retail store without any human intervention. So that's the level of automation that we are talking about. And this is nothing but Internet of Things, which is enabling a better user experience for customers, right? So you don't have to wait, you don't need to go into the queue, you don't need to be waiting and buying everything and then ensuring that you bill this and you have printed receipt waiting for some errors which you don't need to worry about. Everything is digital, everything is emailed to you, and you will be able to track this easily. Similarly, when we talk about a digital uh, a machine, okay, the machine is transmitting the data. Now, why the machine is transmitting the data? Because I would have connected few sensors to the device, and that would be transferring the data to a gateway. The gateway in turn would be sending this to an application. The application gets monitored, and we make some informed decisions out of that. So that's the whole cycle of Internet of Things, and I have captured a flow later in the later part of the deck, which will give us an example of how things actually work. With this, I'll go to a quick video and then we will talk about that. So this is a YouTube video. I thought it was relevant for this session so that people could understand what is this all about.
Shelves are getting smarter. Today, technology is proliferating in nearly every industry, including the retail industry. Technology has revolutionized the way people shop and the way businesses market their products. What are smart shelves? In brief, smart shelves are electronic shelves designed to automatically keep track of inventory in a retail establishment. Let's take at a few of the main advantages. Real-time engagement. With smart shelves, business owners can collect real-time data about their products. The shelves are able to show what products have or haven't been taken. Business owners are therefore more informed about products. More employee free time. Smart shelves can do many things automatically, so personnel can pay better attention to customer needs. This also helps make field team management easier because your teams have more freedom and time to complete necessary tasks. Customer comfort. Smart shelves use sensors rather than cameras to transmit information. This guarantees that customers can feel more comfortable and protected. In-store employee benefits. Smart shelves can optimize in-store operations. Sensors can alert employees to things like low inventory. Customer benefits. Shelves free up employees so that they're better able to answer customer questions quickly and efficiently. Smart shelves can work like web cookies, offering customers personalized benefits like coupons, discounts, and more. Internet of Things is a concept whereby nearly all objects can or will be connected to the internet, which allows them to be both controlled remotely and offer helpful live data. Smart shelves are a part of this revolution. This animation is brought to you by Go Spot Check, a mobile data collection app for retail execution. Shelves are getting smarter.
Okay. So, as you saw in that video, it was something about a smart shelf used in a retail, right? And I will also give you an example where we talk about connected soap dispensers. So you talk about connected soap dispensers where we have these soap dispensers which are used, and right now it's so relevant that because of COVID, people are using sanitizers and liquid soaps. So in US or in Europe, the compliance percentage is so high that it is being monitored and audited by third parties, and the employees working in a retail store need to ensure that they wash their hands if they are going to the restrooms or moving between um, different departments. And hence you can actually put a sensor in the soap dispenser, track the dispense or the usage of the product, and ensure that your employees are compliant to that, so that the usage of the product is tracked, people those are using gets tracked, and obviously if the device has a problem, because it is connected, can send alerts or notifications to certain people, those who can take corrective actions for that. If the device goes out of product, there's an alert sent to the sales team who can replenish these products, and that way that process is automated. So you do not need a manual intervention of somebody going and checking literally to understand if this soap dispenser has a liquid or a sanitizer which needs to be refilled, because you are proactively tracking it. Yeah, there's a sales team which gets an alert, or a store admin or a store manager gets an alert, and then you are able to take a decision to replace that product. Similarly, you are ensuring compliance, because if nobody is using that particular dispenser, that means that people in and around that station where the soap dispenser is placed, people are not using it, and hence you are not complying to the policies of the organization. So you can track the compliance and the policies for the organization as well. So this was an example for IoT, where you saw that you can connect any device that you would want. You can have a connected refrigerator. A refrigerator, when connected, can give you information of the inventory. So you are buying milk every day, or maybe every alternate days, and if you have a smart shelf within the refrigerator, it can give you an alert, and it can actually order things for you. So you can actually configure the system in a way where if you are out of milk and your refrigerator sensor is able to detect that, it can send an alert or a notification to somebody to buy this product, or it can directly be linked to Amazon where your credit cards are already put in, and it can order milk for you every third day or fourth day when the product goes down. So things have been automated to that extent where you do not need any manual intervention. Obviously, the con to that is, these were the pros. The con to that is that you have to ensure that your security is not compromised. And I will talk about that in a bit when we get into more details about that. So this gives us leads us to the next topic, which is digital. So when we talk about digital, I will go to the video quickly, but before that, let us go through a few slides that I've put together. So when we talk about digital, everything is digital. Everything right now is moving into digital. Earlier, when you used to maintain books or maintain accounts, you used to use your daily paper and account books, and where you used to put the transactions. Banks used to maintain everything in a notebook or in a ledgers. They would track this on a day in day out basis. Now everything is moving digital, because that's how the customer would want things to be represented. A great example of moving into digital is Paytm. Everybody uses that, and now you have so many ways of making your digital payments. What is all of this? This is just a technology which has changed the way you look at business, doing business, providing better customer experience, transforming your business to from what it was to what it is. And this is all done to enhance the customer experience. Because end of the day, when you're looking at moving something to digital, it is enabling a lot of things like getting your data faster at the tip of your finger, accuracy of the data being stored without getting lost, and obviously the customer is able to access all of this without any issues, right? And all of these industries like the manufacturing or the hospitals or the banks, everybody is going digital. And then digital as well, you are doing digital transformations for business. And why are you doing these digital transformations? So when we look at digital and when we look at the user experience part of it, it is important to understand what each users want. Example, when you walk into a bank right now, as compared to when you would have done that 25 years ago, you would go into a queue earlier, take a token, and that too you have to wait for in a big queue, and then somebody would call you, and then you would go to the counter, deposit your checks, or maybe take payments based on whatever transactions that you would want to do that day. Currently, what you would do right now is you would go into a bank, there's a kiosk, you would press in whatever numbers that you need, you get an um, automated chit which will say, hey, you are in this queue. You have these digital machines displaying the numbers, and then you are called into that queue immediately based on the numbers that you get. So that's a process which has digitized. Another great example, and which you will be able to relate, is movies. Earlier, when I was a kid, if I have to watch a movie, I would go 2 days ahead of the movie release date, stand in a queue, buy the tickets, and then we go for these movies. Or the same day, just stand in a queue, buy these tickets. Currently, most of the people, at least what I see in the current generation, would actually go to Book My Show or any other relevant sites where they have INOX sites or any other sites, book the tickets online, take a copy on your digital format. You have a scan barcode which you can scan at the counter, so there is no people intervention there. You pay with your digital credit card transactions or a Paytm or a Google Pay, walk into a movie theater, scan it, you enter into the movie theater, you take your seat. Now things and technology has changed this way that earlier during a movie you would want to have some snacks, you have to go out, buy those snacks, you miss the part of the movie. Now these movie seats where you're sitting are connected, they have their own screens, and you are actually ordering popcorns or cold drinks or whatever you need from right in front of you in through the monitor that is provided in your seat, and it gets delivered to you. This is nothing but a digital transformation. Imagine the customer who is walking into that movie theater, what is the experience of a person who was not getting any of these earlier. Right now it has become so easy and convenient for them. Now this has become a need for the customer rather than being a luxury, right? So that's how the digital transformations are happening, and we are seeing it every day in our life where things are moving in from something which was non-digital to a digital. Look at the banks. How do we communicate, transact, work with the banks? The banks are even charging people if you are actually visiting a branch because they want less people to come to them so that they can do their work without any interruptions. You go in, check your account, draw in a statement, deposit money, or transfer money, transact, whatever you want to do, everything is available online. You want to put something into a fixed deposit, you want to play with your shares, everything is available online. And that's the power of digital, which is touching each and every industry. Talking about music, when I was a kid, I grew up with playing tape recorders and all those Walkmans, and I'm sure a lot of people would be able to relate to that. Right now, everything is digital music. You have these iPods, the fancy stuff, you use the connected Bluetooth devices, everything is connected, and you are able to kind of listen to this music without any manual intervention there, where you need to have a tape recorder, you put in a cassette, and the cassette would get stuck. Those are all gone, right? It's a dead industry. Look at a camera, how things have transformed. You had a camera where you had to put on a reel every time. The reel had to be washed. You will give it for washing. It will take 2 to 3 days, and the reels would come as a printed photograph. Right now, with a click from your either from your digital SLRs or your mobiles, you can click pictures. You can shoot videos. If you want to get these printed, you can directly print these into the direct your printers, or you can go to a shop, transfer these images, and then they can directly print it for you. So that's how digital is changing. Go to a cricket stadium, go to a soccer stadium. When you look around, you will see a lot of digital banners being put there, which shows about different advertisements, right? And earlier, those were big hoardings which were actually blocking your views. Now this is completely different. When you look at the fencing, when you have the boundaries, where the dugouts, you have everything as digital because that has changed the entire industry, the way people are looking at it, and that's the importance of digital. As we speak, as we go through this journey, a lot of things are going to change, and we are going to experience more digital things coming into our life, right? Talk about any game. Earlier, when we used to have a digital or at least a semi-digital video game, you used to have a Mario game having these audio cassettes. You put or the not the audio cassette, the game cassettes being put into into the station, game station, and then you used to connect and play. Right now, it's either online play, online games, your PS4s or the Xboxes of the world, which is connected. You can go online. You can find your friends, network, and I'm sure a lot of people in will be able to relate this. A lot of people play online games among us, right? Which is very common as these days. My kids also play that, right? Now this is it's so convenient because now you just need to have an IP address or a networking connected to the internet, and then you're all connected. But as I said, the flip side to this is the security. And as I said, security is one of the key concerns that we are seeing right now in the digital world, which is of prime importance, because hacking is something which was there, which is growing, and if you're not careful about this, you would have heard about fraudulent transactions happening, people getting appointment letters in large companies without actually even going through the entire process, right? So all of these are part of the security which we should be careful, we should be aware of, and hence when we talk about digital, make sure that you are aware of this so that things don't fall apart. Okay, so let us quickly go through the video that we have about digital, which gives us an idea of what is digital all about.
Once upon a time, business as usual was often good enough. No more. Where we are going, good enough is dead. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there's only one space left to innovate in: you. Right now, you are a central point in the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, mobilization, augmentation, disintermediation, automation. Well, the list goes on. Science fiction is becoming science fact. Think about self-driving cars or computers that can learn and think. The way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be dramatically different. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you driving change, or are you being driven by it? Disruption has become the new normal. With change, it's always gradually, then suddenly, well, things really have stopped happening gradually. This change is exponential. Everything that used to be dumb and disconnected is now wired and intelligent. Cars, cities, ports, farms, even our bodies will be wired with sensors and will talk to each other. These game changers are also combinatorial. They amplify each other, creating a perfect storm of change. Quantum computing fuels big data. The Internet of Things fuels artificial intelligence and deep learning, which fuels robotics.
Okay, so we'll quickly come back to that. So this was a quick video on what is happening in digital, and as you saw that things are changing rapidly in our world, and we will have to move in with that pace, right? And when we talk about digital and IoT, all of this has, as I said, the pros and cons. And when we talk about digital, it can be only be complete when we talk about IoT and digital, that we talk about analytics or the data part of it. Because whatever we do, everything gets captured. What is analytics? I'm sure people would have heard about analytics. It's just a science of turning raw data into insights for people or customers or businesses to take informed decisions. It's mathematics, it's statistics. We get data, and you would have used it in your business, in your chart, in a pivot tables, right? So the importance of data. Why do we need data when we talk about IoT or digital? Let us take an example of a retail store. You need to understand, okay, how many people are coming to your store, right? What is the number of people, those who come to your store? And if you are running that store, what is the percentage of products that are getting sold to these people? You are putting some shelves within the store, and you know that if a customer is walking in, seeing is believing, and if you want to sell a dairy milk chocolate, you would certainly put it up in the first shelf so that a customer walking in can pick it up immediately when he or she comes and walks into the store. So end of the day, end of the month, or end of the week, when you are doing a tally of the products which have been completed, you exactly know how many products are needed, what is the consumption of a Nescafe or a Tata tea or a Dairy Milk chocolate or a Maggie, and you will be able to predict that this is what the need is. This is all being done by analytics. Take a manufacturing industry. You have these devices where you're talking about, say, heating, ventilation, and air cooling devices. Now, you need to know that these devices do need certain maintenance. How would you know when would these need maintenance, right? Now, if these devices are connected and they are transmitting data, they have run hours. Typically, run hours would indicate that this HVAC machine, when it runs for say 200 hours in a month, it would need a maintenance cycle where you need to call in a technician who can come and visit and ensure that the device is it's maintained, and they do whatever preventive maintenance schedules that they need to they need to perform on that. Now, without having this data, it's always a guesswork, or it would be saying, okay, every month let's go ahead and do it. But when you have this data available and your machine has not, say, example, like in a COVID situation, the device was not working at all. The HVAC devices were just working maybe um, 2 hours a day, or say 2 hours a month, because nobody was walking into the office for the 2 to 3 months initially, right? So you know that you can send in technicians only when you have completed 200 hours of runtime, and that may happen in 6 months, and you get the data and send it to your preventive maintenance company, and they will send technicians only after that X number of hours have elapsed. So the data plays an important role there in telling the company that you can take these decisions based on the data which is provided to you. Data science and data lakes are being important every day. There are so many different tools like a Tableau or a ClickView, which is available in the market, where people are investing time and learning all of these tools. And when we talk about data science and data lake, these are big terms. I'm kind of making it a little basic, right? It is a flow where you are collecting all the data into one place, and then using the data for your different business intelligent reports, because you need to collate all the data coming in from different sources in an organization. So when you're working in a big corporation, you will get data from different systems, a sales data, an order data, an accounts data, right? And all of these data can come into a pool where you can utilize this data, marry the data together, and then take any informed decisions based on that, saying, okay, I can use this data for whatever reasons that you would want. But it is important that data that is connected is collected into a pool, and then you can do some analytics on that to give some predictions, or take some informed decisions to make sure that whatever decision that you're taking helps, end of the day, your customer in kind of giving a better customer experience. So the analytical world, in the analytical world, the benefits are many. There are so many tools, so many things that you can do. It's a lot of people love to play with numbers because that's what interests them. And a lot of people are keen in developing applications. A lot of people are keen in developing, working on the digital front. A lot of people are keen in the analytics part of working on reports, creating reports, playing with numbers, presenting it, right? And everything is connected, where you get the data and then you work on that, and then you provide this insights to the businesses, and the decisions are taken by the teams based on that. I have put together a slide which talks about the different technologies that are currently being used in the market, which will actually help, I think, those who are right now in the first year or the second year, or are looking for opportunities in the current job market. These are some of the things that I have seen happening in the market. when you talk about technology, there are two things that you look at: a backend and a front end. A backend is typically an programming language like a C++ or a Python, Java, Node.js. These are some of the things which are very common. And I hire people, not only me, there are people in the industries hire people, or there are demands right now for these kind of backend technologies. Similarly, for front end, Angular is something very key for user interface, where you are actually keen on developing some fancy user interfaces that you would see right now. So those kind of things are developed using Angular, and people are inclined there. So you could have a full stack developer, which means that you could have a front end and a back end combination, or a specific set of people focusing only on back end, which could be the Python or the Javas of the world or the Angulars of the world. Then you have cloud. Everything data right now, we are moving away from the old technology where the data, you had large data centers. Everything is now cloud. So AWS, Azure, or a Google provides these cloud services at very competent rates, and you can, based on your organization, where whichever they are adopting, you can work on this. You can have certifications like a certified AWS professional or an Azure or a Google certified professional. You can be a DevOps engineer. You can be a test engineer, right? And then there are methodologies like Agile, where you could be a Scrum Master, where you could get yourself certified as well. So these are the things which are there prevalent in this industry, which will be specifically focusing on IoT, digital, and when we talk about analytics, there are tools like Tableau, View, Learn, and these are all online certifications which are available. You don't need to go to some physical institutes. These are all online certifications which are available. You could be also a mobile developer, a data scientist, a data architect, and last two things, which is focusing on the UI UX interface. So there are people who are in the organization, those who are focusing specifically on user interface and user experience. When we talk about user interface and user experience, it's a vast thing. It talks about how you can provide an experience to a user um, in different ways, and there are different courses or trainings which are provided which actually help you sharpen these skills. And above all, as I said, cybersecurity is of utmost importance. There are people, those who are getting certified in the security tools, where you are able to do security assessments. How strong is the technology which is deployed in your company? You are able to find loopholes there and suggest measures, ways to protect your organization and the data theft which is happening. So that's of key importance as well. So this slide, what I put together, is some of the key technologies which are used and some of the roles which are available in the market in IoT, digital, and analytics, connected analytics or analytics, whatever you could call. And these are some of the things which I, at least in the area that I'm working on, people have a good demand, and we are right now not getting enough resources to fulfill the requirements which are coming in, because every company that I have known, I've been interacting with, are looking at digital transformations or connected analytics or IoT implementations. And these skills are, some of these are niche skills and some of these are important and not available readily in the market. So people are getting trained. There are organizations those are focusing only on training people on all of these and getting them certified, pushing for the different roles which are there. This slide, I have taken it from McKinsey, one of the famous consulting companies. This talks about, and this is just a view that which talks about organizations with successful transformations who are deploying more technologies than others, right? The one which is in deep blue are respondents at companies with successful transformations, and the sky blue ones are all other respondents. So what you would see is there are traditional technologies which are being used, and the organizations who have been moving into digital or digital transformations, could be IoT, could be digital implementations and analytics, advanced robotics, virtual realities, all of these things where people are focusing on are growing, are ensuring that their customers are benefiting, and they are able to move ahead of their competitors if they are taking that step now. And as we see in the next few years, you would see more of these coming in. Business would uh, would would be would take a back seat, and you will find new ways of people deploying things, working on the go, things being developed on the go, an agile development methodology which will come in, and people transforming the way you did your how to do business now. So that is what which is changing as we speak, and people are quickly adapting there. Those who are not able to adapt, they are left behind, and they're getting shut down. A very classic example, look at Kodak camera, right? Talk about Kodak anymore. Whenever we, at least when I was a kid, we talked about cameras. Kodak camera was very important. Talk about phones, Nokia phones, mobile phones. I had one Nokia phone, and that was one of the best phones that I ever had. When the digital world came in, smartphones came in, no matter toss. See, the companies which were not able to adapt to these digital transformations, were not able to think big, were left behind. They are no, they were nowhere to be seen. Now they are trying to come back to the market with a lot of new things, but they were a leader in the market at one point in time, and now they're trying to catch up with that. Look, the way they sell their products, the way they provide the user experience, right? And everybody wants an Apple phone. That's the reason they are very costly, because they are ensuring that they are meeting the customer needs, and how they're marketing their product, how they're transforming the experience. So these are a few of the examples that we have seen and we all know about, we have heard about. But the moral of the story is, if you are not transforming your business, you will be left behind. I have a last slide which I would like to talk about. This is a quick case study which talks about what are the devices, how do we connect. So if you look at this, the first part is about devices, gateways, and sensors. Example could be an HVAC or a connected shelf that we saw as an example. Can be connected through a Wi-Fi or a long-range connectivity to the cloud, and the applications can be monitored. You have device management, you have applications that you build, and then you have a command center which is connected 24/7, receiving these notifications, taking proactive or reactive actions. So this is the end-to-end cycle, from the devices to connected to cloud to application to command center. This is powered by analytics, governed by security, and enabled by digital. So this is a journey which typically happens in any business, from when you talk about IoT to digital to analytics. And these are the things which we are currently focusing on in the current scheme of things. So with that, I will take a pause here and hand the stage back to Mr. Rakesh Pathak for any questions, anything that we would need to be answered.
Thank you so much, sir, for a engaging, informative, and interactive session. It was a wonderful time listening to you, sir, and your vast knowledge will surely help us. As they say, the first step to receiving an answer is being brave enough to ask a question. So, with this, I would like to request Piyush Verma, sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, to start question answer session. Over to you, Piyush, sir.
Thank you, Parishi. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir, for your extremely valuable inputs. With such interesting talks, questions are obvious, as we all know. But because of some time constants, I'll take few questions. So the first question is from the academician. IoT has provided a situation where... Yes, sir.
If Nambiar sir has time,
okay,
I will be happy that if there are many questions, let them be asked. because this
Sure.
is
Sure, sir.
a very important topic and it will be very beneficial for our students and staff. So I will not be very much bothered about the time constraint. Today is Sunday. Those who can afford, let them ask and get all these things cleared and motivated. I'll be happy. So from my
Sure.
side, for the college side, I say go ahead.
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much, Father.
No problem. I'm available right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. So, the first question is IoT has provided a situation where human intervention has been minimized. Does this create more and more exclusion and marginalization? Any solution from your side, sir?
Okay. So if you look back and you look at history, when computers started coming in, we all talked about that. Okay, when computers come in, it is going to eat up your job. That was not the case. It actually enabled a lot of things, right? So these are all enablers. When we talk about IoT or digital, these are all enablers. There are things that you would automate where you would not need human intervention, but this is creating a lot of opportunities and expanding the knowledge for people. And as we go into the next 5 to 10 years, there are immense ways of things that you could be exploring and doing and deploying certain things as and when you learn new things. When we talk about artificial intelligence, right, and when you talk about virtual reality, all of these are something which has started picking up, and with your knowledge, with the learnings that you will have more opportunities that will be available.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I think you have given the answer. So, the next question is for our country, like India, being an agricultural based country, there are large scope of IoT agriculture. What can be those applications and how can they be implemented?
So in the agriculture industry, there are certain automations which are happening as we speak. Um, there are big industries, those who are working with big agricultural companies in putting sensors, automated watering of plants, automated devices which are being used for agriculture currently. And it may not have picked up the way we have seen it in India, but at least in the US we have seen where things like chemical fertilizers or sprinklers or automated machines are being used to an extent where it is uh, uh, where it is free from human labor, right? So these are all have been set up in a way where you don't need too much of human intervention, and things are done in a more automated fashion. And I believe things are catching up in India as well, because we talk about all of these solutions when we are presenting these to the customers, and I see that customers get excited when they actually are hearing about all of these features which are there in the agricultural industries.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Uh, you talked about cyber security in your presentation. Based on that, one question is from a student. Cyber security might affect the development and implementation of IoT. What is your take on this?
Cybersecurity would not affect IoT, it will actually complement it. Think about a scenario. You have a connected device, right, operating out of a manufacturing firm or maybe a hospital. Imagine if there is no cybersecurity and that device is manipulated. Example, it could be a oxygen cylinder which is pumping out oxygen, right? And if you are able to hack into a system and you are able to manipulate that, what happens to the patients? What is the impact? Or talk about an airline industry. You are doing some implementation of IoT and you're not talking about security, and somebody hacks into that system. You're talking about live security of people, right? And there's a breach there. So security is complementing your IoT and digital solutions.
Okay, that's a very good answer. So another question is, do you think IoT and AI are artificial intelligence will be replacing human activities in future?
It will not be replacing human activities as such, but yes, certain activities which may not need certain human activities, you can automate all of those, but the human would be doing more intelligent activities, right? So the basic activities, give me a minute, let me quickly charge my, not this one,
Yes,
just
sure,
let
sir.
me charge my laptop.
Sure, sir.
Piyush,
Yes, sir.
Piyush,
Yes, sir.
in the chat box, Father Sijo has a question. Just go through that. Okay.
Yes, sir. I have seen. I will ask.
Okay.
Sir, you are on mute mode.
Sorry, I'm back.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So coming to the question on IoT, and so when we talk about the automation stuff, yes, that will reduce a lot of manual efforts, and those people, those who are doing those manual efforts, those would be reduced, but people would be doing more intelligent work. They would learn new things, they would learn new intelligent stuff, and which will help them actually take whatever way we are actually looking at things to the next level. So you are one, improving the efficiency of your organization. Two, you are providing a better customer experience. Three, you are ensuring that you are generating more revenue for the organization. So that is how the transformation is happening, and you are going to adapt to that as you progress in the next few years.
Okay, sir. So the next question is in the same line. With IoT and AI enabled services, how do you see the human society in next 20 years? That is by 2040.
Yeah. So imagine a world, do a flashback 20 years back and where we were 20 years back, right? When we did not have, say, internet or to that extent, or to a smartphone, and how we were working then and to working now, right? Things have changed completely. You are doing transactions through your mobile. You are buying your movie tickets. You are doing a Uber and Ola. Talk about Uber and Ola. Has disrupted the market. It has actually changed the way you would use a taxi. It has changed the way you would use your transportation business, right? So things are moving in that direction. Uh, Talk about virtual reality. If you go to YouTube in your mobile device, and if you go to the settings option, now you have an option of viewing a video in virtual reality. All you need is a virtual reality glass or a Google Glass, whatever you call it. Put that and change the mode into virtual reality mode, and your YouTube video, actually whatever video that you have, go to virtual reality video, and you feel that you are in that video. So things are transforming at a pace, and all the companies are investing in heavily in that, which means that in the next 10 to 20 years, a lot of things would change. The way you look at things, the way you do business would definitely change. And the reason for that is the way people are thinking, the way digital are taking a huge, uh, I would say, a step in actually moving the business from what it was to moving the way the business it is. It is completely disrupting the market, and hence, in the next 20 years, a lot of things are going to change, where you will be able to automate a lot of things and ensure that you are able to provide a better experience to anybody approaching a product or take for that matter anything that you're providing to your end customers.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. It was a very nice answer. So the next question is, today we talk about human 2.0, which is a melding of human and artificial intelligence, something known as transhumanization. Okay, And some companies are into it. So they have even succeeded in generating a digital pattern for individual humans, and you can just scan over areas. It produces you an ID with all the details. In reality frightens. Humans are becoming more a product than an individuals, with privacy, autonomy, and freedom. So could you share some insights into this regard?
Yeah, so I have not personally worked in this area, but then I've seen a video. I think it was somewhere in the Middle East. You have a robo cop. So that cop is a robotic cop which actually monitors and manages things which actually a cop would do. So it is programmed in a way where it can actually take certain decisions based on whatever sensing or whatever methodologies or technologies which has been used, and it can detect certain things and ensure that it is able to manage that, right? So this is just cloning certain things, certain parameters, putting into a logic and putting into a robo, and the robot is able to take care of certain things, obviously defining the boundaries whatever is there, and take some actions on that. Now, as I said, you talk about autonomous cars, right, where uh, you have a car where you don't need a driver. So who could have imagined 20 years back, or maybe 5-10 years back, that there could be a car which would not need a driver, right? It's absolutely crazy. Now people are thinking about it, people are experimenting about it, and things are getting developed. And next 5 years, 10 years down the line, you will have a cab. You call a cab, and the cab comes to your door. There will not be any driver. You will just riding, go to the airport or the station, and that's it. So that's how it is changing. Things are changing so fast, and we will have to adapt to that. And obviously people will experiment. It is scary. There are things which are scary, obviously, but then we will learn from all of these, and we will get used to these, those sci-fi movies. Maybe I have seen few of those where they talk about so many technologies. All of these are becoming true now. We used to think that, okay, these could be only movies, but we have now seen that turning into realities.
Okay. So some questions are there from educational sector also, sir. So
Okay.
one of them is, what are the ways IoT can be into the students' college, language to learn and projects to be carried out? The curriculum does not have IoT as a part of the syllabus. Okay. So the scope of IoT for classroom education will be?
Okay, very good question actually. So when I started learning, I never had a computer as a subject when I learned about it. Then gradually computer came into the picture. When people started learning about computer, it was about, okay, DOS, okay, about Windows 95, and then gradually things changed. Now, as we go ahead, things have to change. I am giving an example, live example, what I've seen from what my kids used to learn back in India to what my kids are learning now. Um, they would be learning few things. They would have learned few things in India, which was the basic ones. But when I moved to US, I actually was interacting with the teachers in the school, and as a part of the curriculum, they have introduced IoT. They are talking about IoT, and I was really surprised and happy at the same time, because they are thinking that, okay, these are the things that the kids should know. They need not know completely, but when my kid was in the 7th standard, there was a curriculum on IoT, and they talked about IoT, what is all about. My kid, one of my other kid in the 5th standard, was talking about digital music, right? How things are being done. How do you put together animations? How do you put together stories? So these are all becoming part of the curriculum, and we would we would want all the education institutes to start applying this to their curriculum and include this, because it's important that each student gets to know about it, and we can define the quantum of how much knowledge should be shared in the 7th, in the 8th, in the 9th, and the 10th standard. Have people do projects, ensure that people are doing certain hands-on projects as they move into the 9th or the 10th standard, where they are matured enough to understand things and grasp this. And then when they get out into a college or get out of college, they already have that base completed, so that they can think next level whenever they are going into the into specific focusing areas where there could be back end or a full stack developers. They can go to the next level from there on. But it is important to add this to the school curriculums, and it is important that we teach the kids all of these.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, in the same line, one question is IoT and smart devices with gadgets are changing the way we live, and we do our day-to-day business.
Yes.
What would you suggest to the universities, academicians, and the students so that skilled manpower is available in adequate number?
See, it's important that we have, according to me, I believe that we need people or teachers, those who have knowledge of all of this, right? So the teachers also need to learn all of this. Obviously, we have been learning or had a different way of how we had learned or we have been brought up, but we will also have to ensure that we are also able to teach this to our students. And how do we ensure that we are aligned with the needs of the industry, how things are changing. We have seen things changing, like a normal board to a smart board, where you can write on the board and it is a digital board. It can get sent to your devices. You have laptops coming into the schools. You have tablets coming into the schools. I have seen that in Bangalore. A lot of schools offering tablets where their kids are learning their curriculum, right? So all of this, and these tablets come preloaded with certain subjects which are already there, and the kids just need to scroll through it, learn it. And as you would see, now kids are more tech savvy. You talk about TikTok, I see every kid on the block doing some TikTok videos. I have I have people in my family right from age of 4 to 5 to 50 doing TikToks, right? So this is how technology is changing. This is how people are adapting to that. And obviously, in the next few years, people will change, and that is how you will have to also upskill. If you're not, you will be left behind. So it is important that everybody gets aligned there.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Couple of questions more, and we will not ask too many because I think you are tired now. So
No problem.
just couple of questions. Automation is fine in a country where there is a scarcity of human labor, but in a country like India, where there is surplus of labor, it may only add to the pool of unemployment rather than finding a solution to the unemployment that we are faced with. What are your views on this?
See, this is a huge topic, and you can sit hours and hours for a debate on what you are trying to do there, right? but just keeping it short and to the context that we have here, yes, there will be a huge pool those who would lose their jobs in case of automation. And as I said, you should have to look at it as more of an opportunity. Just an example, when computers were coming in, a lot of people came and protested, hey, we're going to lose their job, and because computers are taking over people's work. Did it happen? Yes, some of these did happen, but then people had to learn new things, and they were able to work on the computers, and they got additional jobs. So they were intelligent in upskilling themselves and learning new things. So similarly, when new things are coming, obviously the manual works will get obsolete. You will move on to new things, you will learn new things, and that's the way your entire industries would transform, or the journeys would change. Obviously, there are things that, and those who don't want to work, those who don't want to learn, obviously would be left behind. So it's an advice that at least I believe people should start investing in themselves, learning whatever you are in areas of interest are. And that way you will be able to be ready for the market, and you can learn whatever you have. So many opportunities now. Unlike when we were there, we had to actually really dig out what we should be focusing on. Now you get it everything on online. You go to Google, you search for it, you do online certification. So life has become so easy for people that you can actually find out all of this information readily available. There are people, those who know about it. You can have online coaches, mentors, teaching. We never thought about schools operating out online, right? Work from school, school from home, work from home, school from home. Everything is happening. So all of this would happen, but you have to keep up that space. And I'm sure people are getting more intelligent day by day, and they will be able to learn new things and and unemployment should not happen.
Okay, thank you, sir. One last question. So, students on different platforms, they are actually sending the question, which is actually in the same line. Nowadays, we hear about WhatsApp privacy, which they have released. So they are also tracking the data from our mobile, from our devices, as well as IoT devices also capturing the data. So how do you ensure the security and things into the IoT devices or smart devices which we will be using?
Okay, so in an IoT world, that's the reason I was focusing very much on the security aspect, and we have seen these issues happening. So there are different security layers, the security implementations which happen. There is there's a role, CISO. It's like a CEO, but he's a chief security officer, information and security officer. So that's a role which got created. So imagine the need of the business to create a role like a CEO, COO. Now we have a CSO, right? A chief security officer, whose area is to focus on the security concerns of any digital platforms. And in an IoT world, there are a lot of digital specific security implementations which go in. So as an architect, if I am an architect, an IoT architect, I have to think through the end-to-end deployment of when my devices get deployed, how I'm going to make that secure. When it goes to the cloud, how am I going to make that secure? When the application is there, how am I going to make that secure? So the architect will think through, work with the CSO, ensuring that all the security layers as a part of that, and you do not have a data breach there. Because the moment you do that, then if there is a breach, depending on the criticality of the business, you will compromise that data, right? Hence, it is important that you think that first, deploy that, and there are certain courses where people can take up and learn more about security, because companies are doing security assessments of their digital products. So that's how critical the life has become, and in terms of security in a IoT world or a digital world. And things will happen like a WhatsApp right now coming, and a lot of people debating about that. You have, if you, no, so I was just debating with some of my friends. Hey, can we move to other platforms from WhatsApp? I said, if you're moving out of WhatsApp, you better be moving out of Facebook and Instagram as well. All of these are owned by Facebook, right? So you cannot be moving out of WhatsApp and being in Insta and being in Facebook, right? You have compromised your data. We have agreed to the terms and conditions, and the data is already there. They can use it for anything that they want. And an example I would give is there's a serial in Netflix. It talks about election when Trump was elected, and how Facebook data was used to manipulate that. If anybody has a chance, please go and watch that, which it talks about that. It's a Netflix episodes, and you will be able to see how Facebook data has been used to manipulate things. So those things will happen because you are choosing, you are agreeing to that, you are agreeing to a TikTok agreement, and then you are providing your data. Wherever online platforms are there, you are providing your inputs. If you don't want that, you have to come out of your social networking sites. That's the only way where you can prevent your data being published to anybody, and use your only transactions like a bank or wherever all are secure transactions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. You gave all the answers very well. It was nice talking with you, questioning you, and getting answers from you. So we are benefited with your session, and we'll be surely implementing your suggestions in our life as well as in the education sector also. Thank you so much for being with us. Over to you, Parishi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you so much, Girish sir, for your commendable answers of the questions.
Welcome.
Now, as our webinar has come to an end, I would like to give my heartfelt gratitude to each one of us present here to make this session a successful one. Now, yes, so before we end this webinar, there's important instructions for participants. Link of feedback form will be available in the chat box of the MS Teams and WhatsApp group. Attendees are requested to fill this form as it is very important for certificate generation. Now, I would request Mukesh sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, our resource person and those who are joining from the US, and a very good morning to one and all present here. I, Mukesh Kumar, on behalf of St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, feel honored and privileged to propose the vote of thanks. I would like to express my gratitude to our resource person, Mr. Girish Nambiar, for taking out time from his busy schedule and enlightening us with his knowledge. He gave us deep insights into the topic and also revealed some interesting facts. Once again, I would like to thank our resource person for answering questions of our students and participants and teachers patiently. I would like to thank our principal, Father Dr. T. Nishan S.J., for organizing this webinar and providing his valuable support. I thank Father Dr. Sebastian Alphonse S.J. for guiding us and giving us such an opportunity. I would like to thank Rakesh Pathak sir for being the convener of this webinar. I thank Prakash Upadhyay sir for finding such a resourceful person and planning and executing the entire proceedings. I thank Piyush Verma sir for handling the question and answer session. I thank Supriya ma'am for her technical support. I thank Parisi Gupta for prayer and anchoring this session. I thank the entire college management and staff for their support. Finally, I would like to thank all the participants for their active participation. Thank you everyone. Jai Bharat, Jai Xavier. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Girish sir. I hope when you come to India, to God's own country, Kerala,
Sure.
you'll come to Bihar also. Right?
Yes,
We're
definitely.
very happy to meet with you.
Sure.
We have a chain of St. Xavier's institutions. You have it in Trivandrum, St. Xavier's College, in the Loyola School, Loyola College. All these XLRI and so on are our own institutions. So
Yes.
you are most welcome to Bihar, the land of Buddha, and you're more enlightened. And the IoT also, you'll get more enlightenment, right?
Sure.
Thank you so much. A very, very enriching, very truly enriching talk, and we need such things now. It's very, very relevant. And congratulations to the whole department, all of you, Prakash Upadhyay, Rakesh sir, Piyush Verma, Mukesh sir. Only we didn't see our lady, only one lady is there. Supriya is not there. So Parisi, everybody.
Yes, I am not visible, Father, but I am there.
Yeah, you are not visible, yeah. So you should have been also given some job. Anyway, good. So congratulations to all of you and all our students. I saw lots of BCA students attending it. So very good number of participants also. I'm happy that this happened. So good. God bless all of us. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Girish sir. This is Rakesh. I would like to thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
For giving your Saturday evening. You have sacrificed your weekend for us and our students. So thanks a lot. Surely we'll keep in touch with you and we'll get benefit of your vast knowledge.
Sure.
I take this
happy
opportunity.
to share my experience.
Thank you. You are so generous, sir, with your time and with your skill. Thank you. Thank you so much. I would like to thank all the participants, and this is a formal end of this webinar. Thanks a lot. Please do not forget to fill the feedback form. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
क्या हो गया? तुम्हें जहन में शाम से तेरी ही लम्बे बात है।